Hi YouTube, so I decided to do the 50 random facts about me tag. I know that this might be kind of boring. I'm sorry if it is, but I know one thing for sure. If you're watching this video, you were probably bored to begin with anyway. Let's just jump right in. Number 1, I have 3 kids, 9, 6, and 1. My 9 and 1-year-olds are boys and my 6-year-old is a girl. Number 2, I was in the Air Force. Number 3, I'm a classically trained dancer. I started whenever I was a toddler. Number 4, I'm a history buff. My favorite is probably medieval Western European history. Number 5, I actually failed history in 9th grade. Number 6, I have schizophrenia, but I'm very high functioning. I can't really drive or hold a job, but I have a healthy, happy marriage, and I'm not like dangerous or anything. I'm just awkward and weird, I guess, sometimes from what people tell me, that I always seem kind of distracted, and sometimes my words, I do what's called word salad. So outwardly, people tend to think that I'm neurotypical, so that's nice. Number 7, my favorite book or movie series, other than Harry Potter, because that's just a given, is the Robert Langdon Adventure series by Dan Brown. Number 8, the next series I will be reading is A Court of Thorns and Roses. Number 9, my favorite place I ever ate at was called Zombie Burger. It was whenever I was driving through Des Moines, Iowa. And I mean, I have no way of knowing if I'll ever be going back that way again. So it was probably a one-time thing, but we loved it. If you live anywhere near Des Moines, or if you're ever gonna be in the area, stop in there. It's amazing. We actually framed the menu from there because they made it look like a apocalyptic times newspaper, and I'm gonna hang that up in my dining room or kitchen soon. Number 10. Other than that, my favorite restaurants to visit are Olive Garden, Panera, and TGI Fridays. And I always get the same thing every time I go for each of these places. So at Olive Garden, I always get the braised beef and tortelloni. And for like the appetizer, I always get lasagna Frita. And then with that meal, you can either pick super salad, and so I always get the chicken gnocchi. I also love the zuppa toscana from there, but since I figured out how to actually make it at home, I make it at home, and I just have the chicken gnocchi whenever I go out, whenever I'm at Olive Garden. At Panera, I always get the cheddar and broccoli soup with a baguette, and I get the mango smoothie. At TGI Fridays, I always get the cheesesteak burger meal, and I hardly ever drink alcohol. I really don't like to drink alcohol. Maybe I'll drink it once or twice a year, but I don't allow myself to get drunk or anything like that. But if you go to Olive Garden or TGI Fridays, I have a drink suggestion for you for each of those places that you've got to try. So at Olive Garden, it's called the Toasted Marshmallow Amore. It's usually out around like Valentine's Day, like February and March, around that time. And it is so good. It's like toasted marshmallow and chocolate flavor with it's like a creamy drink with like Bailey's. Oh, it is so good. And then at TGI Fridays, there's actually 2 drinks there that I recommend. The mojitos there are like the best mojitos I've ever had in my life. And also I think it's called Bahama Mama. I don't know if they have those year round. I just know that this summer I tried each of those and they were divine. Number 11, my favorite movies other than Harry Potter are Stardust, Mortal Instruments, The Da Vinci Code, and The 13 Ghosts. Number 12, my favorite TV shows are mostly all comedy. It's Bob's Burgers, Parks and Rec, The Office, The Goldbergs, and then the other one of my favorite shows is actually not a comedy, is Grimm. Oh my gosh, I love that show so much. Number 13, my favorite band is Beats Antique. Number 14, I am a huge Michael Jackson fan. When I was a kid, I used to dress like him for school, and I would always dance like him, and I was known as the Michael Jackson girl. Number 15, sometimes when I'm bored, I imitate Shakira's vocalizations, like her kind of like goat-like vocalizations, and my husband hates when I do it. Like, he thinks it's spot on, but he's just never liked Shakira. So when I do it, he gets really annoyed. Let me know if you ever want to hear me do that impression. I do a few impressions. I don't know if they're any good, but there's a few that are my go-tos. Number 16, when I burp, I try to make the burp sound like I'm saying Babadook. I can't burp right now to show you, but maybe sometime, like if I'm feeling burpy that day, maybe I'll make a video and show you how I say like Babadook whenever I burp. And then, bonus fact is, because this isn't actually about me, this is about my husband, but every time he burps, he says, "Oh yeah," like the Kool-Aid man. I can't do it right now because I don't have to burp. I'm trying to make it sound like it, but he goes, "Oh yeah," like with his burp every time he burps, and I would say Babadook. Number 17, I love fruit bats. Well, bats in general, but especially fruit bats. And like, I don't understand why people don't like bats or why people are creeped out by them. They are like flying puppies. They are adorable. So those are one of my favorite animals ever. Number 18, I want to create my own makeup line. I have so many ideas. I've got it all mapped out. Themes, colors, names, even like I have like all these ideas even for like ad campaigns, everything. I have got it like all figured out. So that's one of my goals one day is to have a makeup line. Okay, number 19, my husband and I got engaged about 10 days after meeting. I know like at first when you hear that, you're probably assuming that we met online and we talked for a while and then we got engaged 10 days after meeting in person. No, that's not the case. Literally 11 days before we were engaged, I had no idea that he existed at all. I met him in person. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I met him in person for the very first time. Never knew he existed up until then. 10 days later, we decided to get married. So, and we're happy. Almost 8 years later. And we are very, very much happy and even more in love as time passes on. Okay, number 20, I hate snow. If it touches my ankles or wrist especially, I get so irate. Like, I've kind of wondered if I have like some sensory issues or something like that because it seems like there's like a lot of things I can't stand, especially touching my wrists. Like bracelets. I can't wear bracelets as beautiful as they are, and I always try. Like, I always see them and they're so beautiful and I want to wear bracelets, but I cannot take it. I can't stand the way it feels. And then, you know, I just like if snow touches my wrist or my ankles, like my day is ruined. It is ruined. Like when I was a kid, I didn't want to go out and play in the snow. Sometimes I did, like, because I'd be like looking at it, I'm like, okay, everybody's having fun. I should probably go out there and give it a try. And every time, within like 13 seconds of being outside the door, I'm getting like mad thinking about it. But yeah, I'd be getting snow on my ankles or on my wrists, and I would just be days ruined. I really don't understand why people like it. Number 21. Despite that, I really want to go see the Northern Lights one day. Number 22. I have nerve damage around my mouth, in case you've ever been wondering like why my mouth is so lopsided. Yeah, I've got nerve damage, and I've had it for like about 10 years, I think, almost a decade, I think, that I've had nerve damage around my mouth, and it just hasn't fixed itself. I was told like 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, they told me that it would fix itself on its own, but it never did. So that's frustrating. Number 23, I am a dance teacher / choreographer. I took a break. About the last time that I did a show was exactly a week before my littlest one here, my 1-year-old, was born. Not sure when I'll get back into it. It's not really a priority for me right now. Number 24, my U.S. bucket list is mostly Disney related, like, you know, Disney cruises, Disneyland, different things like that. But other than that, I really want to go to Beetle House in New York City. I want to do a Salem witch tour in Salem, Massachusetts. And I want to go take a vacation in Hawaii. Although, like, really any tropical-y vacation doesn't really matter. So, but yeah, those are my few things that I want to make sure that I do in the United States sometime in my life. Number 25, I played with Barbies until I was 14. There were kids in my class that were literally having sex, and I was still playing with Barbies, and I'm not ashamed of that at all. I was a good kid. Number 26.